WAGA-TV, Atlanta. John Marler, Brenda Wood, Ken Cook, weather, Jeff Hollinger, sports, and the Eyewitness News team. This is Channel 5 Eyewitness News at 6.
Good evening. The jury tried but could not reach a verdict in the trial of State Senator Hildred Shoemake. As we reported in a bulletin just a few minutes ago, the judge in the case has just declared a mistrial. Why couldn't the jury decide if Shoemake was guilty of extortion? And what happens now? Let's go to Channel 5's Jim Kazurski at the federal courthouse. Jim?
Well, John, the jurors are filing out of the building now, and most of them say that they are not going to talk about their experience, although they describe it as agonizing and tense. At 5:30 this afternoon, Judge Arinda Evans came into the courtroom to announce to the defense team and prosecutors that she had received another note from the jury. It was one of several she received throughout the day. Several of the notes asked questions on legal matters. Two of the notes were simply statements saying that they were unable to reach a decision. State Senator Hildred Shoemake came to the federal courthouse this morning hoping for acquittal. He's charged with one count of extortion. But the jury wrestled with a decision soon after beginning deliberations this morning. About 10 o'clock, the jury wanted two questions answered and sent them out to the judge. Could you give us some insight on how the law weighs cassette tapes? Secretly recorded audio and TV tapes made up the most important parts of the government's case against Senator Shoemake. Judge Arinda Evans told the jurors it was up to them to decide what weight to give the tapes as evidence. The jurors also asked what determines when a contract is legal. The judge said it was irrelevant to the case. She sent them back to the jury room. Then this afternoon, jurors asked the judge to redefine reasonable doubt. She did. They wanted the charges reread to them. The judge did that. The jurors went back to talking. Then just after 2 o'clock today, sent out this statement. We are unable to come to a decision. We feel we will be unable to reach a decision in the future. We are entrenched in our individual positions. Right after receiving that statement, the judge asked the jurors to go back and try one more time, and of course they sent out a second note saying that they were simply unable to reach a decision. Now, this means that Senator Shoemake either will be retried or the government will decide not to try him again. Now, we do not have an answer yet from the government as to what they plan to do. But until they make a decision, Senator Shoemake is not really off the hook. He remains under indictment until the government decides whether or not they're going to try him again. And we'll have more on this story as developments break. This decision from the judge and the jury here of no decision at all of a hung jury has just come down here at the federal courthouse in Atlanta. Reporting live from the federal courthouse, Jim Kazurski, Channel 5 Eyewitness News.
All right, thank you, Jim. Senator Shoemake fought hard to get into office in the first place. He ran unsuccessfully against Julian Bond. But when Bond left the state Senate to try for Congress, the road was clear for Shoemake to get into elective office. Channel 5's Morris Diggs takes a look now at Shoemake's short yet controversial career.
When he spearheaded an effort to rebuild a home for an elderly Atlantan, Hildred Shoemake got one of his few chances to bask in the light of positive publicity. The senator was touring southwest Atlanta one day in 1987. He saw William Jenkins' rundown home and thought it was abandoned. So Shoemake put together some political and construction muscle to help Jenkins out.
Atlanta has come together. They've shown that black and white, and I'm very happy that it's happened like this.
While Shoemake's efforts to help the down-and-out homeowner is worthy of praise, the way the senator was handling some of his own properties at the time got him into trouble with the property tax collector. A 1988 Eyewitness News investigation showed that Shoemake was chronically late in paying taxes on these rental properties. More than $1,300 on a house on Rose Circle. Almost $1,200 behind on this house on Beckwith, and another $1,200 on this house on Salmon Avenue.
We're never going to refuse to pay taxes. It's just not high on our agenda for these two pieces of property because of the location the properties are in and the fact that many of these properties have been vandalized and we weren't generating enough revenue to meet all our bills.
They are rental properties.
They are rental, and we have to...
You have renters.
We have renters.
You get money from them.
We get money, but not every month.
Money, again, was a source of criticism leveled at Shoemake by the citizens group Common Cause. It looked at campaign donations by PACs, political action committees. Common Cause is worried that powerful PACs gain too much influence through campaign contributions.
Contributions from PACs are no guarantee that you will be their political puppet or they have purchased you for the time that you're serving in public office.
For one period in the mid-1980s, Shoemake collected $52,000 from PACs. Only the governor, the lieutenant governor, and the insurance commissioner received more during the same period.
Now, for the record, Mr. Shoemake no longer owes taxes on those properties we showed you, although he is behind on some other properties. One thing you can say about the senator is that he is colorful. Brenda, he's known as well for the fact that he sends out birthday cards to all of his constituents, as he is for any piece of legislation. They like that, the little touch about sending out a birthday greeting.
All right, he is on a lot of people's minds, colorful and controversial. Yes. Thanks, Morse. Recapping our top story today, as we have it so far, a mistrial has been declared in the case of State Senator Hildred Shoemake in his extortion trial. The jury has been unable to determine whether the lawmaker was seeking a consulting contract or selling his political power. Now, the federal government has 70 days in which to retry Shoemake if it decides to continue prosecution. So far, no indication yet whether the government will pursue this case any further.
The big news today about a man we first told you about yesterday, a man who escaped from a Georgia prison 17 years ago. Well, tonight, James Sanders can finally say he's a free man. The State Board of Pardons and Paroles today commuted his sentence. Sanders walked away from prison in 1975 and settled in Texas. Family and friends say he has been a model citizen. But Sanders says his past haunted him.
I want to get it over with and just get on with life, you know. I want to forget about what happened to me 20 years ago and get on in the future with my life and my family.
Sanders was arrested after calling the FBI anonymously. The FBI traced that call. He was calling to ask how a prison escapee might clear his name. Now, Sanders had served only a little more than a year of an 11-year sentence for burglary and theft. Attorneys for convicted murderer Wayne Williams have completed now 45 hours of testimony in their effort to get him a new trial. The man who headed Atlanta's police task force in the city's missing and murdered children's case testified at the hearing in Jackson, Georgia today. W.J. Taylor conceded some information about other suspects in the case may not have been given to Williams' defense team. But he denied any information was deliberately withheld.
Do you understand my point?
I understand your point, but I think that you have to understand that even though there were suspect files, I still had 187,000 additional tips that were investigated. I had approximately 20,000 letters. A lot of the letters, 20,000 letters, indicated that there was certain criminal conduct on the part of other people. The overall investigation was available to anyone that had the authority to see it.
Now, Taylor did agree that any information about possible Klan involvement with the murders should have been given to the defense team. Judge Hal Craig must now decide whether Williams deserves a new trial. It is not known when he will rule on that. There is one other note from the case today. There were indications yesterday that Williams' defense team would call into question fiber evidence used to convict Wayne Williams. That, however, today did not happen. Brenda?
A rookie police officer in Auburn, Georgia is in trouble tonight. Big trouble. GBI agents want to find Frank Cruz. They have a warrant for his arrest. Channel 5's Randy Travis says the police officer is accused of giving a woman driver a choice: go to jail or take off her clothes.
Heading back to Atlanta after spending the evening at UGA, two young women decided to take Highway 8 through the Barrow County town of Auburn. Around 2 a.m. Sunday, an Auburn policeman pulled over their car. What happened next may have cost him his job and a lot more.
The officer had asked the driver to come to his vehicle. He requested that the other person remain in the vehicle at this location, and then he drove the victim to another location where these advances were made.
The officer is 24-year-old Frank Cruz, a Winder resident who joined the force a few months ago. Sources tell Eyewitness News he's accused of fondling the woman when he frisked her, then offering to let her go if she took off her clothes in front of his headlights. When she refused, sources say he took her back to her car after warning her not to tell anybody what happened. Agents are trying to find Cruz now. He faces charges of violation of oath by a public officer, false imprisonment, and sexual battery. Used to be the city of Auburn was known only because it was on the main road between Atlanta and the University of Georgia. But these days, Auburn has a different reputation, a place for problem cops. Back in 1984, one man was accused of sexually assaulting a mentally handicapped woman. A few years later, the police chief in this town pleaded guilty to bribery, among other charges.
It just seems like every time they get a new batch in, something else comes up. It's just like people are just aching for them to get in trouble or something, maybe. It's like we get a new batch of cops in and something else happens.
Candler Dozier became the town's police chief just a few weeks ago, vowing to clean up the department. He never thought one of his first moves would be to suspend his friend, Frank Cruz.
We're trying to do the right thing, and it was just really a slap in the face, a real shock, really.
He's hoping Cruz will turn himself in, but late this afternoon, investigators were still unable to find him. In Auburn, Randy Travis, Channel 5 Eyewitness News.
Investigators are not ruling out the possibility that there may be other allegations against Officer Cruz as well, but right now they refuse to confirm any other case.
Coming up next on Eyewitness News at 6, a body has been pulled from the Chattahoochee River at the Atlanta Waterworks.
The funeral for a Cobb County high school student murdered on the job at a fast food restaurant.
And later, heavyweight champion Evander Holyfield wants to fight in court his former manager and business partner. A man who had gone fishing was found dead in the Chattahoochee River today. Tonight, the Fulton Medical Examiner is trying to determine whether that death was accidental. Companions say they last saw him on the shore of the river near the city water plant, but an hour later, they say he was gone. His body was found underwater near the river's bank. Tonight, the man's name has not been released.
3 days after he was murdered at the Burger King where he worked part-time, a Cobb County teenager was buried today. Hundreds of friends and classmates turned out at the service for Chet Blanchard as the hunt for his killer continued. Channel 5's Ken McLeod reports that in the quiet East Cobb neighborhood where he lived and worked and went to school, the teen's death has hit hard.
The white bow on the door and the sign in the window did not explain why the Burger King on Powers Ferry Road closed at 10 o'clock this morning, but some customers quickly figured out it had something to do with the murder of 16-year-old Chet Blanchard, gunned down behind the counter Saturday night.
It's just so close to home, and I have a son.
Most of Blanchard's co-workers and many of his classmates from Wheeler High School packed into a Cobb County church for his funeral today, trying desperately to console the teenager's family and each other.
He had only been here maybe not even a full year, but he touched a lot of people. And for somebody to walk in pointlessly and kill him and take that away, there's no reason for it.
You know, he wrestled, he played football, he's on the track team. He had a good life ahead of him.
But that good life was snuffed out Saturday when the athletic, easygoing teen was shot dead working his usual weekend night shift at the fast food restaurant by a gunman who snatched $70 from the cash register. Customers and co-workers who helped police with this composite sketch say Blanchard never said a word or made a move before the killer opened fire. Detectives say that sketch has led to several phone tips. Just after sunrise this morning, an anonymous caller told police their suspect was holed up in a southwest Atlanta apartment. But like other leads in the case, it didn't pan out. Crisis intervention teams have been counseling the sophomore's schoolmates, but answers to some questions are elusive.
I guess the basic question everybody asks is why. I mean, why did this happen? And how? How could someone do something like this? And I don't think anybody has any answers yet, and I don't know if they will.
Just the way that he was killed, just for no reason, no specific reason. He was taken away, and that's what really hits me, is he was just shot for nothing.
Burger King is offering a $5,000 reward in the case and has also given the Blanchard family $5,000 to help them cover the cost of burying their only son. In Cobb County, Ken McLeod, Channel 5 Eyewitness News.
Chet Blanchard is survived by his parents and his two older sisters.
Coming up next on Eyewitness News at 6, we'll check the forecast with Ken Cook. He says, look for a change tomorrow.
Also coming up later in sports, Georgia Tech prepares for the next round of NCAA play.
And Evander Holyfield files a lawsuit because of his failed Clayton County car dealership.
Well, Ken's sort of filling me in on our weather forecast. Looks like we're headed for a little nuisance weather. This is a new term I haven't heard you use.
Well, you know, I don't like to ever refer to rain as nuisance because it's always beneficial. But the thing about this is our deficit for the month is about 1.5 inches, and the deficit for the year is about 3 inches. And a little bit of rain that may fall tomorrow may be on the order of 5 or 10/100ths of an inch. It's not going to amount one way or the other as far as the deficit is concerned, but certainly is going to allow us up a day that today was a beautiful one, tomorrow won't be. Here's a look now what's going on in Atlanta. At 6 o'clock, temperature's starting to go down just a little bit. 58 degrees currently. The skies are still clear. The humidity low, and that's the problem. Moisture will start coming in at high levels late tonight and tomorrow. Low-level humidity will stay low for a while. Wind out of the east at 9 and barometer rising. High temperature today reached 60 to low 36, still 7 below average. Sun up at 6:34 and down at 6:53 tomorrow. Now, all in all, it was a fairly mild day, mostly sunny across the southeast region. Temperatures a few degrees below average for this time of the year. High pressure now has moved off into the Atlantic. That means winds are now beginning to return back out of the southeast or south, and a little upper disturbance is coming in from the west, and it's already spreading some mostly light showers, sometimes moderate showers, and once in a while even a thunder shower in there over portions of Texas, Oklahoma, and into Arkansas. That system will rapidly move on into the southeast during the next 24 hours. It'll be passing over us during the day tomorrow and tomorrow night, bringing a little bit of rain to it, but not much, I think. The next major system is just off the California coast. That will move on shore during the day or during the next 24 hours, and that one we would expect later on in the weekend. So look for, during the day tomorrow, mostly cloudy, some showers, sprinkles coming on through, fair weather returning then after that, but then changes coming in once again for the weekend. So our forecast looks like this. A chilly night, 35 to 40 for a low with wind light out of the east. Tomorrow morning starts out mostly cloudy, cool about 40 degrees, and during the day, some patchy light rain, 55 to 60. So a cool, cloudy day, basically. Then sun returning on Thursday, a beautiful day Friday, partly cloudy Saturday, and then the next chance of rain could be Sunday, and the weekend could well look a lot like it did this last weekend. Nice on Saturday, miserable on Sunday.
Okay, well, we've already had a little practice in going through that. So
yeah, it'll just be a repeat.
All right. We're prepared for it then. Thanks.
Word today that heavyweight boxing champ Evander Holyfield's next big fight may be in court. He is suing his former manager and business partner, alleging they conspired to cheat him out of millions of dollars at his now closed Clayton County car dealership. Holyfield says they told him the dealership was making $800,000 a year when it was losing nearly $1 million a year. Holyfield says he has almost $4 million tied up in that dealership.
Still ahead on Eyewitness News at 6 o'clock today, Braves-Yankee highlights from West Palm. Bill Hartman is standing by in South Florida with the latest. Bill?
I'm going to give you the details of what happened in that game, Brenda. Plus, we'll talk about Georgia Tech as the Jackets get ready to head for the Sweet 16.
Coming up tonight on Eyewitness News at 11 o'clock, a suspected drunk driver leads California authorities on a high-speed chase for miles through winding roads. We'll show you how it ended up. Also, why Elvis Presley's doctor, acquitted on charges of giving too many drugs to the king, is being accused once again. Join us for those stories and all the night's news tonight at 11.
Right now, it's a tough job, but somebody's got to do it. Imagine being assigned to the sunshine of Florida on a nice, breezy day.
Bill?
It is breezy, John. We are standing just outside the Palm Beach Yacht Club, which is about 1.5 miles, 2 miles from Municipal Stadium where the Braves played today. We'll get to that in just a moment. But first, the Yellow Jackets of Georgia Tech. They are preparing to play Memphis State in the Sweet 16. They leave for Kansas City tomorrow to practice before Friday night's game. We will have a special right here on Channel 5 at 7:30 Friday night. The Memphis State-Georgia Tech game will follow. Today, the Jackets were working hard.
I think the first key, everybody asked me, you know, what is the key? I think the first thing is we got to continue to play as well as we've been playing. We got out of that downward spiral. And I feel pretty good we're out of it. But now we've got to play our best basketball.
Georgia Tech and Memphis State are very similar teams. Tech has a 23-11 record. Memphis State 22-10. Now, the Yankees beat the Braves 4-0 today, but there is some good news hidden in that loss. The Railbirds were out in force this afternoon to see one of Atlanta's best, John Smoltz. He made it worth their while. Pitched 6 innings of 1 hit ball, struck out 8, and walked no one. He looked ready for the season to begin.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy. It was time to quit experimenting and get in game situations and put guys away. I've had too many chances to let them get off the hook, and experimenting's done. I'm ready for the year.
With Smoltz gone, the Yankees jumped on reliever Juan Berenguer in the ninth. Bases loaded. Berenguer serves one to Kevin Mott. This one's going to go to the wall. 3-run score. They got another. Yanks win 4-zip Braves now 7-11-1, but it's only exhibition. More exhibition in Winter Haven today. The Astros beat the Red Sox, shut them out 1-0, and Craig Biggio was the star, sort of. He was on first base when Joe Heska's pitch gets, the throw to first gets away, and Biggio is on his way to third.
Biggio slamming around into the end.
Then Steve Finley singles. Biggio comes around to score the only run of the game. Astros look good pitching. Brian Williams gets Tony Pena, and the Astros shut out the Red Sox. How about last night at the Omni? The Hawks are a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde team. They beat a good Golden State Warrior team, 126-125. Tim Hardaway gave the Warriors a 1-point lead in the overtime period. Then, with just over a second remaining, Robinson puts up a shot. It is short. Sasha Volkov is there to play it in. And that is how the Hawks beat the Golden State Warriors, 126-125. We will be reporting tonight from the stadium at 11 o'clock and tell you more about the Braves and all the other sports of the day. Brenda and John?
Oh, Bill, all of us here in the studio commenting what a beautiful shot that is. The background there looks so tempting. I know it's hard work for you down in West Palm.
Well, it is. My yacht is parked right over there. I'll be back in a moment.
We all feel sorry for you here.
I'm glad.
Thanks, Bill.
Bye.
And that's it for now. For Bill Hartman, Ken Cook, and the rest of the Eyewitness News team, I'm John Marlin.
And I'm Brenda Wood. Thanks for making Channel 5 your choice for news at 6 o'clock. CBS Evening News with Dan Rathers coming up next. We'll see you again tonight at 11. Good evening.